Sociology is an optional which is quite common among the science students. Students who have studied bachelor's in sciences or bachelor's in technology or computers. Students who are from non-humanities background, they opt for sociology because sociology studies about society, about people, about social issues. While reading the study material, the only difficulty that science students come across is the part on sociologists or thinkers as we call them. These people were scholars who studied sociology, who framed so many theories, and as a sociology student we have to understand what they meant, what they studied, how they studied, what methodology did they use. Reading the study material is easy. That is the easiest part in sociology preparation. The difficult part comes next, and that is reproducing what you are reading. Science students mainly, they are used to writing in points, not writing essay type answers, writing to the point answers. They are not used to flowery sentences, or probably their English vocabulary is also not something to be proud of. But when they opt for sociology, they have to make certain changes in their way of presenting what they are reading. Here comes the stumbling block or the mountain which they have to ascend. Sociology answer writing is not difficult, but it requires consistency, it requires hard work. You do not have to be a master of words, you do not have to be a poet or a writer. You should be able to express yourself clearly in simple words without beating about the bush. You should be able to present your facts with conviction, with examples, with illustrations, and with the help of the theories which the scholars presented. If you are a fresher and you are finding yourself lost, then firstly you should start with the answer sheet that is presented to the student in the mains exam. In the mains exam, mainly two types of questions are asked, or you can say two categories of word limits are there. First one is the question which consists of 10 marks. You are given 2 pages to write the answer. Here you have to make sure that your introduction is short. It can consist of few lines and at max 1 paragraph. Similarly, your conclusion should be short, starting with few lines, maximum 1 paragraph. This is the space that you get for the body. By body, we are referring to the main content or the main demand of the question. After the introduction, you start your content. You can divide the content into small paragraphs. For example, para 1, para 2, para 3, para 4, and according to the demand of the question, you can either discuss writing the entire paragraph in an essay form, that means without any points, or you can choose to break the paragraph into smaller points. That is up to you, and also it depends on the question. Now you will ask what kinds of questions we should write in paragraph and what we should write in points. Whenever, usually, if the examiner is asking you to discuss something, to explain something, or to elaborate something, then it is advisable to go for para format, because it is difficult to express your point when somebody is asking you to discuss in point form. So, para form is advisable. On the other hand, if the examiner is asking you to differentiate, to compare, to contrast, to be critical, critically examine, critically analyze, in these types of questions, you can go for a combination of para and points. So, your body will look like para 1, para 2, para 3, para 4 maybe, and then further into other points. In 10 marker questions, because the space is less, therefore, we advise you not to make diagrams or to make very small and absolutely essential diagrams. Please do not force diagrams into your answer, because in 10 marker you have less space, and if you are unnecessarily including a diagram, then it will waste space and probably your conclusion will be congested. Now, how to write the introduction? Introduction is not something magical, is not something very superior. It simply means you should give a background of the question which is being asked. You can give the background by defining something, but this is usually suggested for those who are at a beginner level. If you are in the intermediate level, try to give some kind of background in the form of some theory related to the question given by a particular thinker, or a statement. It is advisable not to use statistics or any kind of examples in the introduction. We can include this in the body or main demand of the question. Similarly, when we are writing the conclusion in a 10 marker is not very grand. You simply have to summarize whatever you have written. You can end it on a positive note. It is advisable to end it on a positive note, and if needed, you can also include what some particular thinker said if you remember it. Try to be futuristic, or if needed, you can give certain remedies or solutions or significance of that particular theory anything which suits you and which fits the word limit, of course. Now, the second type of question that is given to the aspirants is 3 pages and you have to write it in approximately 250 words. Although this is not included in the question paper, only for 10 marker they are giving the word limit of 150 words. So, 250 words, we assume that yes, we should write approximately this much so that we do not cross the word limit. Now, in a 10 marker question, what happens? In a 10 marker question, we are writing on 2 pages, but what will happen in a 20 marker? So, in a 20 marker question, what will happen? We have 3 pages, okay, 1, 2, 3. Now, here if you see the pages, in your mind it should be clear that I am going to write a bit longer introduction than I would write in a 10 marker, okay. Similarly, conclusion I will write a bit longer, है ना. Now, we have enough space for the body. Now, because there is enough space for the body, what happens? Sometimes you will see that some toppers, maybe they have written 2 paragraphs in the introduction, okay. So, that also you can do. You can increase the paragraphs in the introduction, but make sure that when you start the body or the main content of the answer, then you should not jump to the body from the introduction abruptly. Abruptly simply means that there should be a connecting line or connecting link between your introduction and body. This means that if I am writing the introduction, then I will explain that in the following lines I am going to write this and only then I will start. I will not start suddenly. I have to explain to the examiner that this is how I am going to proceed in the body, okay. And then I divide it, probably first paragraph here, second here, third, fourth, fifth here. Mainly whenever the question is of critical analysis, then if you are writing the pros, that means the positives, and the cons, the negatives, then you should start the critique from here itself, okay. You should start the critique from here itself. Do not wait to write the criticism or critique here. Many people, many aspirants, they will write here. So, what happens is that in a 20 marker, if you are writing the critique here, you are starting from here, then you have only this much space. As a result, what happens is that the conclusion is very congested, okay, and it looks very bad. Instead, please manage your space. It means start early so that you can end beautifully and you have good number of space, good number of page space for your conclusion. So, these things you have to keep in mind. How to write a 10 marker, how to write a 20 marker, intro and conclusion small. Here intro and conclusion can be 1, 2 paragraphs, 1 paragraph. Body should not include figure or avoid figure. Here you can introduce figures because they will break the monotony of your answer. Here if needed you can write the critique, you can write the negatives also. If you do not find content for your answer, you can conclude in a more detailed way, in a more futuristic way, giving specific examples perhaps from society, from India. So in this way you have more space in a 20 marker, less space in a 10 marker, and the battle which lies before you is mainly to manage space. As a student, you have enough content. You have enough content to write, but what you have to master is space management, and this you will have to learn early, because if you do not learn it now, then it will be difficult for you to complete your paper in the exam hall. So now, because you have 2 months and you have 2 papers, paper 1, paper 2, you can easily start with the PYQs, start attempting the questions topic wise, and then practice 10 marker as well as a 20 marker. With time you will understand how to write answers, how to manage the space, and you will also figure how to put diagrams, where to put diagrams, how to explain the diagrams. So these things will only come with practice. If you have any queries, you can DM us or you can put your query in the group. Happy answer writing. All the best.